Hey, 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 it's Coach Kinsey Shae. I just kind of wanted to pop on this Monday morning and talk about this sense of being normal, or this is what normal people do. There was a time where I thought that having a successful career, being married, having my 401k, that was normal. So I held on to that belief. And when that went away with my car accident, I felt that I wasn't normal. We have a tendency to want to fit in. We often feel less than, unworthy, that we don't measure up. But I'm here today to tell you, you are worthy. You do measure up, and you are beautiful. This can also be said for all of the service providers, military nurses. When the pandemic happened, I'll speak specifically to nurses, but because that's where I was in 2020. I was just over a year into my 22 plus marathon of surgeries. And I felt that I was not worthy because I could not be there with my colleagues and join arms. And we have just such this big sense of duty of helping our patients and helping our colleagues. And it brought up a lot of emotion because I felt not productive. I felt that I wasn't a good nurse because I wasn't in the hospital fighting the pandemic. Because in my mind, my belief, a good nurse, no matter what, would be there helping. So a good question is, what specific action did or did you not do? And just really reflect on that. And when I did that, I realized that I was supporting my colleagues because after their shifts, I was talking to them and allowing them to vent and care for them on an emotional level. Somebody that understood them. I used what I had. So when you have these feelings of what a normal person should do, good questions to ask just to get your mind wrapped around what your beliefs are, is just to observe what comes up. 2 questions is, a good nurse, you can put any word in here, but for me, and using the example, a good nurse should be in the hospital. A good nurse should be fighting this fight. A good nurse has a sense of duty and pride. And then I went into what a good nurse should not leave. And then I filled in the blank. A good nurse should not abandon their colleagues. A good nurse should not abandon their patients. And ask yourself, are you okay with clearing this? Because if we hold on to this belief, it leads to shame and guilt, and we get into our self-talk. And then I asked myself, when would it be okay for a good nurse not to be in the hospital? When is it? When would it be okay for a good nurse not to be in the hospital? And upon that reflection, I realized I was compromised. I was on double digit surgeries at that time. I realized that I was supporting my colleagues. And I made a decision to volunteer at COVID clinics and give education in my local community. So when we anchor to what is normal, we don't look at different possibilities of what that means. And we are conditioned to think that it is good or bad. And there's so much gray in this world. And this is an easy way to dissolve all of the guilt and shame around our beliefs of what we believe is normal. Because not everybody has the same perspective. And sometimes we just need to give ourselves some grace and ease and acknowledge where we are and how we can use what we have to change and shift and reframe that belief so that we don't get into our head of all of the shaming we do, all of the negative self-talk that we do, and anchor to the gratitude of being alive and the gratitude of being able to do what we can. So I invite you today, if you are having a sense of something is normal and you don't measure up and it's leading you to that shame and guilt, walk through this process of asking yourself, a good blank should what? A good blank should not blank. And ask yourself, am I ready to dissolve this? Am I ready to clear this? What can I do in my current time and space? Stay curious, my friends, because there are so many possibilities out there and so many different perspectives. And our perspective is based off our experiences that doesn't always guide us in the direction of possibility. So have a blessed Monday. My name is Kinsey Shae, transformational coach and heart math trauma sensitive practitioner, a guide to your self-discovery, to find alignment within yourself. Much love, light, and gratitude. See you tomorrow.